Yep, a few more things here. I've got two resolutions to ask for your approval on. These are both resolutions required as part of grant applications to DCED for various funds for the development of the rail trail. And this first one is for a Greenway Trails and Recreation Program, or GTRP fund grant of $250,000 from the Department of Community and Economic Development to be used for Lebanon Valley Rail Trail Phase 6A, which is the Wengert Memorial Park connector over off of Chestnut Street that I think you're all familiar with. This resolution would provide for the application submission and also designates myself and Mr. Fitzke to be able to execute documents agreements if we're awarded the grant.
Okay, as a courtesy, I'll ask Commissioner Litz, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll make a motion to approve the $250,000 request from DCED in the form of a resolution.
I'll second the motion. Any comment or question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
You did vote for that. There's only two of us. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I hope that was unanimous.
Okay.
All right, then next resolution, very similar, but this one is for a multimodal transportation fund grant from the Commonwealth Financing Authority in the amount of $875,000 and to request a waiver of the local cash match for the multimodal transportation fund grant. And this would be used for the rail trail as well. Also Phase 6A, Wengert Memorial Park connector, and Phase 6B, which is the Gloninger Park connector. And that is on the west of 22nd Street on the south side, I think, of Walnut. And that would be then connected over to 22nd Street and whatever, and then to the east to the Wengert Park, and whatever gap remains to be filled between 22nd Street and through the mall or around the mall, or however we're going to get from there to the other side of the railroad tracks and make that connection. So it's expensive. There's some relocation being looked at for 22nd Street and another bridge that would replace that very narrow bridge that's there just by the motorcycle club. So expensive undertaking, and looking for some funds from the multimodal transportation fund for that. So same thing, authorizes the application and designates Mr. Fitzke and me to execute documents and agreements.
I make a motion for the $875,000 multimodal transportation fund grant to be submitted.
I'll second the motion to have seek another investment in our quality of life in Lebanon County. This is really shaping up nicely to conclusion. So we're working on getting the funding in place to do that. Any other comment? If not, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, I have a couple of board appointments and resignations. First, with the Clarence Schock Memorial Park at Governor Dick, we've received the resignation of Frank Eichler from the board. Frank is an original member of this trustee board going back to the I think late 1990s. And Frank, interestingly, was, as a teenager, the driver for Clarence Schock when he was head of SICO Oil. So Frank worked for SICO Oil his entire career. I guess you could say to some degree he still is. And Frank has decided that it's time to step down. So he said, he wishes to retire from the board at this time. And this letter of resignation effective 2/1/21. And we will certainly send him a letter of thanks. And Frank was really instrumental in providing funding for the park from the SICO Foundation, being a huge advocate on the part of the park, and also providing a lot of history because it's in his memory that he knows what went on there at the park all the way back to when Clarence Schock used it as a little bit of a retreat for himself. So, I'm going to accept the resignation from the board of Frank Eichler.
In appreciation for his many years of service, I make a motion to accept the resignation of Frank Eichler from the Governor Dick Board.
And I'll second the motion with thanks also to Mr. Eichler for his years of service to our county. Any other comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
So the board, in anticipation of this, I guess Frank has made it known to them that he was leading up to this. And so they proactively went out and sought some interest from anyone who would like to serve on the board. They received interest from 7 individuals, 5 residents of Lebanon County, 2 residents of Lancaster County. Each brought their own skills and qualifications for board service, but they are recommending, out of those 7, they're recommending to you to appoint former Senator Chip Brightbill to the vacant position that Frank served. And I think, again, going all the way back to the beginning, for those who know the history of the park in its current existence, Senator Brightbill came to the county and said, hey, there's some issues going on there with the current trustee, and it would be wise for someone else to pay attention and potentially step in and seek being the trustee, which the county board of commissioners at that time decided to do. Chip had been instrumental in some of the grants that were obtained for the environmental center, for a number of things that were improvements to the park. And as you know, geographically, he is a bordering neighbor to some of the park on the north side of it, and just has always had a keen interest in the park, not only as a neighbor, but just as its existence and its future. I once heard him talk about the future of the park in 300 years. And you rarely hear somebody talk about, thinking out centuries in the future. So anyway, he does have a love for the park, does have an interest. And after the board went through those interviews, each and every one, their recommendation is to appoint Senator Brightbill to the unexpired term, which will go until June of 2021 and then be up for another.
Okay, well, that's a good outline, Jamie. Putting that all in one narrative, he has a love for the park. He's a neighbor, an attorney. He helps to secure grants, and he has the history of the park without having to learn it. So, yeah, I think he'd be a good fit. I'll make a motion to approve former Senator Brightbill to the Board of Governor Dick.
I'll second the motion. I too can't think of a more worthy candidate, considering his history with the park and his vision that Lebanon County should get involved as a trustee and so on. So right from the beginning and through its development, he's been a player in the park, and I think it's a great fit for us to be able to get him as a board member. So any other comment? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Okay, then I've got some reappointments of advisory board members to the Children and Youth Advisory Board, and some new advisory board members that are being recommended for appointment. First, the reappointments, and these would all be terms that would expire on December 31st of 2023, are Amy Cusler, Judy Weimer, and Rozzario. Take those first, if you would.
I'll make a motion to appoint Cusler, Weimer, and Rozzario.
Second the motion. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Okay. And then I have three members to be submitted for new appointments recommended by the advisory board and Aaron Moyer, Children Youth, and they are Christina Slick, Cornell Wilson, and Donna Williams. I don't know if any of them need introduction, but there was a bio that was given to you as part of the request letter. Donna Williams, most recently our experience here at the county with Donna was as a member of the board who selected some of the CARES business grants. She was very valuable in that regard. She's Chief Operating Officer for Lebanon Family Health Services. Cornell Wilson, born and raised in Lebanon, graduated Lebanon High School, actually served as a group home leader for children and youth at one time, and is on the Governor's Latino Advisory Committee, Welsh Mountain Health Center Advisory Committee. And Christina Slick is works at the Lancaster Lebanon IU13 in the field of early childhood education. So those three.
I'll make a motion to support the board recommendations of Slick, Wilson, and Williams.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved. Commissioner?
Yes,
Question?
may I ask one more question before we move on? Jamie, are there any other openings there on that board?
That's a good question.
I had an inquiry from a lady who's might be quite capable. If there's an opening, I'll encourage her to submit her resume.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you know, we often have resignations or people who, if they know someone's going to is willing to fill in, that they would step down. But I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, I'm not.
Okay. Well, somebody can get that for me. Okay. Thank you.
I would just recommend that she submit it, and then it would be ready to go. Yeah.
On file.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then lastly, I have two requests for exemption of real estate property taxes due to disability on the military disabled list, and they are Hung Sun of Farmwood Lane, Lebanon, and Michael Miller of Cherry Street, Palmyra.
Make a motion to approve the real estate tax exemption request for Hong Sun and Michael Miller.
I'll second the motion. And if there's no discussion, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So ordered.
Okay.
Anything else for the good? If not, I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. We stand adjourned.
Thank you. Nice playing in the sandbox with you.
You betcha.